we're going to figure out what kind of train wreck this is going to be. So,
ladies and gentlemen, did we get it? I don't know if we got it. Jazz, tell us who we are. And what we're doing
this is Warhammered, and we're here for Games, Drinks, and Hijinks. Brought to you by Second Pitch Beer Company. Coming to you
in BattlePub?
In living color, I guess, from the BattlePub studios. I don't
from
know.
a bunker deep beneath the BattlePub studios.
There you go. It's deep beneath.
Teeth beneath.
In the basement of the Alamo.
Yeah.
Is that Pee-wee's bike?
I'm Jazz. That's Big Jim, and that's Beer Jim. Try not to get them confused, because if you look at him, it's like looking in a mirror. It's just, it's wild.
He drinks beer.
There you go.
I called
Jim.
Jim called me yesterday and answered. I was like, if it isn't the sexiest man I know. And Jim goes like, I'm not even the sexiest Jim you know.
There you go,
Thanks,
buddy.
pal.
No problem.
You shaved though. You look good, buddy. I kind of want to rub it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I got a haircut and everything.
This is not what any of these people.
Yeah.
They're like, I thought I was watching like a role playing thing, and now we're just.
No,
it is a role playing thing. Just like a role playing thing you thought.
Yeah,
Bears,
all the kids
bears,
got their haircut at the
bears.
same time, and I like jumped in there. So
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, last we left, we were talking about horrible movies.
Well,
Dungeons and Dragon horrible movie.
Okay, how horrible the Dungeon and Dragon movie is going to be. And I'm not going to lie, I still hope I'm going to be. I hope I'm going to be wrong. I really do. I just don't think I'm going to be.
You're gonna see in about a week or two, like reshoots ordered on the
Dungeons
and
right.
Dragon movie.
I'll be like, yeah,
and
nailed
then
it.
you're gonna be like, oh, so that's that.
It doesn't look great, but
That segues
one of
into-
our favorite IPs around here, which is Warhammer. If you don't know, because you've been living under a rock, Warhammer has its own streaming service called creatively Warhammer TV. I know it's wild. I think they actually call it Warhammer Plus is the apps. Warhammer TV is literally
Warhammer the TV is the
Warhammer
visual
TV
medium.
is literally just a streaming service.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of shit on it. There's a bunch of cartoons. There's painting tutorials. There's lore. There's battle reports. There's all sorts of crap on it.
Which, by the way, if anybody in that is listening right now, why can't I get a battle report with my Space Wolves yet? I've been on this thing. I've been on Warhammer TV. No Space Wolf battle report.
Because if you notice, their battle reports always support whatever the newest release is.
Yeah, I know.
So
like,
Space Wolves aren't getting anything new. That's why.
know. But come on, just throw me a bone.
Now, so far, the original media that's on there
Great.
Has been fantastic. So the Hammer and Bolter series actually did have a Space Wolf episode about neophytes becoming a Space Wolf.
Yep, watch that.
Was really good.
Yep.
The Blood Angels one, the Angels of Death show.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
I don't know if you've watched that, Jim, but
I'm not seeing
it's
it.
really good. And then at the end of it, they did a supercut. So it's like a 2.5 hour movie of just the entire series, but in one big shot. And it's gorgeous. It's all black and white except for the color red. The red is the only thing that's been colorized. So it's like
fantastic.
Schindler's List in space.
Yeah. It's fantastic. And it's really going off to like the same idea.
It's going to leave all of that.
Just leave that pile on the floor.
Yeah. And then they did the Interrogator, and they've got some other stuff that's in there.
And they have a bunch of like just one shots too.
Then they've got the little one shots, and all the Hammer and Bolter stuff is all one shots. So it's like an anthology series. And
they had a comic book, and then they
So it's like the story of Gazgul Thraka and his thing with Old Baelai. The Space Wolves episode.
Who's dead?
Old Bailey. Yeah, I don't want to.
That's
a totally different conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna table that one for a while.
Fuck, I'm so mad about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
So and then they did the one about kind of let's show off how good the assassins are. All the ones from the Officio Assassinorum and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Hammer and Bolter is. I think there's like one AOS episode, but the rest of it's all 40K.
Yeah,
like it's all 40K stuff.
Yeah, there was one AOS where it was just like some like grifter kind of.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird. But anyways, if you haven't watched that stuff and you're like, I don't know if it's worth it, it's worth it. The money's worth it. It's like $5 a month.
It's $5 a month.
Yeah, like it's totally.
And then on top of getting a Warhammer TV, you get also like all of the White Dwarf backward issues.
Yeah, you get
that are online.
You get the digital catalogs.
You get the digital catalogs. You get all that
stuff.
kind of stuff. So it's pretty neat. Like
it's worth it.
And especially if you're a lore fan, that's just
And then I did the whole just like paid for the year.
Me too.
So I get the exclusive minis and stuff too.
Yeah.
So those are super dope.
I haven't gotten mine yet though.
Well, so I was an early adopter. Like when they announced it, I paid for the year. So I got last year's. I got both of those. I got the orc and the
I
assassin.
haven't gotten shit.
And then and now I just got the notification now that I need to pick my my next mini for shipment or whatever. So
Good for you.
they're cool, and I'm gonna get both because I'm a hoarder.
Yeah. Just addicted to the plastic.
It's not even that. Literally, all of my my exclusives like that, like the collector's edition or the Black Library exclusives or any of that stuff, they're not even out of the box. I just like have them lined up like on their
Ready
edges,
to go.
like they're books, like they're just like in a shelf, just waiting for me.
I
to
have
get to
I have an Abaddon and a Chaos Terminator. It's like the same thing. Like I've just one of these days I'm gonna do it.
I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, that brings us to there is a new piece of media coming for.
Possibly. Well, I guess it's going to be Eisenhorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been talks for years for like an Eisenhorn TV show.
So there's an there's a whatever the fuck page, AMDB, whatever.
IMDb
fucking page. And there's been one since 21 or 19 when this was first announced. So if you're not familiar who Gregor Eisenhorn is, to me, he's probably the most fleshed out non-Primarch character in 40K.
He's the most fleshed out mortal.
By far. Yeah.
And really, if you wanted to take 5 people, we're not going to get into that part of it, 5 things, 5 Primarchs or 5 whatever characters, he's probably one of them only because there's 9+ books. There's a ton of short stories, plus the number one author in the Black Library writes him. So, but if you're not familiar with Gregor Eisenhorn, he is an Inquisitor. He is started out as a Xenos Inquisitor. Not that really matters because he bounces around and does a bunch of different things. Started out life as he's a psyker.
Do we have to do a spoiler alert? Spoiler alert?
I don't think any of this is
not at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
taken by the Black Ships. Ends up as an Inquisitor. Has a bunch of early success. Does a bunch of different things, and then as life, the Inquisitors, they run around with a bunch of guys. Doing a bunch of different things. He fights demons. Eventually he has a crisis of conscience. He ends up using the demons for different purposes, stops a bunch of stuff. Hero of the Imperium.
Turned heretic.
Heretic, gets back in the good graces, gets back out of the good graces. His own guys trying to kill him, those kinds of things. But he is a well-rounded out character through a bunch of different books.
And he's got a great hat.
He's got a great hat. But also, if you are new to the lore, good jumping off point.
Really?
I think
so I'm not gonna lie.
Book is that's where I kind of started off with, and I thought it was a fantastic.
It is the first books I wrote.
Yeah, I know, great jumping off point.
I know the surface level of Eisenhorn.
Oh,
he's not one I've dug into.
So I've read most of the stuff. I'm going to reread now, but if you want to know everything that's at the Imperium is about, and if you can dole it out correctly, and the books do, you learn everything. You learn about Space Marines.
Yep.
So he's a human character. He's human. He looks roughly middle age, even though he's been around for a couple of centuries at this point.
Because you rejuvenate treatments, the Imperium has
he's got access to that kind of stuff. He's a badass. He's a badass in combat. In the prior series, he kills 2 Emperor's children like they're nothing. He kills.
Well, it's handy when you can just pop people's heads. Like that's a.
But a lot of the stuff is in combat, though. A lot of his stuff is in combat.
No, he's definitely more. Well, he's an Inquisitor, right?
Yeah.
So his psychic ability is actually more focused on being able to sense whether or not you're full of shit.
Yeah, that and then
he influences people.
Because he does something called like the force of will. Like he has like one of his big things about him is that he is extremely willful. Like he's just a guy that will I will continue to go forward no matter what. And that psychic ability is also part of his psychic ability where he can go into somebody's head and be like, come out of cover. And they'll all of a sudden like for a couple seconds not be able to control themselves and like come out of cover and you can shoot them.
It's the hat.
It's the hat. It's always the hat.
And he's beaten the fuck up. So that's one of the things. By the time, farther in the books, he wears this kind of like scaffolding shit. He's gotten his hand chopped off instead of putting a friggin' augment. He gets it vat grown. So he's running around with a hook and a peg for a while because he just doesn't, because he's a badass. He can't smile because his face it's not scarred, but he's lost like nerve feeling in his face. So he doesn't smile. So that's a thing about the character. So by the time you get to like the last few books, he's like a giant potato. He is fucking fucked up.
Yeah, he's a mound of scar tissue.
So which brings us to who could possibly play this character. Well, there is a guy who no longer has a job because he's not going to be Superman anymore and absolutely loves this guy.
See...
But okay. So Gregor. Now I was reading some of the stuff about this. I have a different person about this. We'll talk about the great my man crush, good old Henry Cavill.
I don't think Cavill's the right person.
But
he loves him though.
But
that's the guy he wants him to play. But anyway.
But to go back, early Eisenhorn in the books Xenos and everything is a good looking dude.
That's what you'd have to end up doing it starting.
Yeah. He's a good looking dude. He's young, he's fresh, a little middle aged, a little wear and tear on him.
There's artwork too that goes along with it. He actually has hair.
Yeah, his hair. He looks good. He looks good for himself. Yeah. Like there's actually that. The model that everyone knows of Eisenhorn is this old beat up old fucking
potato.
That is not that is later stages of Eisenhorn. I think he's, I think you do really well with the great Cavill.
And I think that his build and everything fits it. Mm-hmm. There was some talk about James Purefoy, who played another sort of Inquisitor in Solomon Kane, and he's been around, bounced around. Not big enough for that character because he's got a physicality to him. Mm-hmm. And I say that because he needs to be able to fight a Space Marine and look like he could fight a Space Marine. He doesn't wear armor. He wears stuff.
It's a leather coat.
But he's not wearing armor because some Inquisitors run around with battle armor and stuff like that. He doesn't. Some of his guys do, because all these guys have retinues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're going,
and you can't confuse members of the Inquisition.
Yeah.
And Inquisitors, because they're two different things. Because you have like the Inquisition has its military arm, and it is like dudes that like they have the eye on them, and
they will go in and wreck shop.
But they're armored and they're weaponed and they're whatever.
Yeah,
but
they have
then,
stormtroopers that are
they go and like control it, and then the Inquisitor comes walking in and is like.
And then for people who don't know what an Inquisitor is, let's kind of break down to the basics a little bit. An Inquisitor basically is somebody that is outside of the hierarchical society of the government of the Imperium.
They're a government unto themselves.
They're a government unto themselves. They speak with the authority and power of the Emperor and nobody else.
Well, they speak with the power and authority of the intent of the Emperor.
Of the intent of the Emperor, yes. But the idea behind them is that like this one Inquisitor can like destroy a whole planet if they want to.
They are one of, I think it's them, Primarchs, and I think it's Chapter Masters.
No, Chapter Masters don't have that much power.
Chapter Masters to pull Exterminatus.
Yeah,
I think
an Inquisitor can pull Exterminatus. A Primarch can pull Exterminatus,
and a Chapter Master. I don't know if a Chapter Master can. A Chapter Master can do it, but there will be questions.
There is a geek screaming at us.
Yeah.
White Dwarf 646.
Yeah, right?
Some guy did it.
But anyway,
the
best way that I've ever heard described is like an Inquisitor's power is only checked by his reputation among other Inquisitors.
Right.
Yep.
Is that is the check of their power.
That's exactly right. It's like, your opinion of me matters more really than the horrible things I've got.
Well, and it's which is how they're able to get away with so much. And what you need to understand is that nobody is above the Inquisition.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the Office of the Inquisition can literally pull anybody and go, we need to have a conversation.
That's usually not a good thing.
Yeah.
So because the Inquisition has looked into some of the High Lords of Terra.
Yep.
But they
Chapter Masters.
They also look after each other. So you'll have Inquisitors that are literally investigating Inquisitors.
That's what Eisenhower gets involved in that stuff. He's killed a couple of them. He's had them come after him. He's a Puritan, starts out as a Puritan sect of which they kind of supposedly follow the rules. They don't use alien technology. They don't do that stuff. Whereas
they also have
other branches will ends justify the means. But he kind of gets there. Eisenhower gets to the ends justified the means.
The Inquisition has badass hats, dude.
In 40K?
Yes.
Really?
Dude, they've got the whole fucking
let's do
SS
an audio
hats?
medium.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to describe it. Like they have the whole like fucking low brim fucking like 8-pointer hats that they wear.
Okay.
They have those.
You can wear whatever you want.
Yeah, they have those cool freaking stovepipe like bucket hats that they wear and shit. Like
I love how we're talking about somebody with like an insane amount of power, and Jazz is like, but if you looked at their headwear, their headwear is on fucking point.
I have an admiration for any organization who bases their structure on the size of the hat.
So you're a big Catholic fan, huh?
That's why I like the Catholics. I fucking love that, dude.
Big hat.
You know in the room who's in charge. Just look around. You just look around and be like, who's got the most ornate hat? That dude. That dude's in charge.
That guy has some shit going on. That has some gold feathering on it.
Well, when they take the hats off, though, they get a lot of power. And that's, I mean, he wields an incredible, your average Inquisitor wields a ton of
stupid
power.
amount of power.
Yeah.
I'm like you like as an Inquisitor, you can go to any world and just immediately just walk in and be like, I'm killing the person in charge. I'm completely taking over the government and I'm installing a new one, and no one would bat an eye. It would just be like
okay. So you know who I vote then? Because I think they could do it, and people are going to be like, "So are you going to move it?" You're right, and it would work really fucking well. The German dude from Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Quick, where's my phone?
What's his
Somebody
name?
IMDb the shit out of this.
So he was in that, and he was in
Hans Landa?
What?
Yeah, he plays Hans Landa.
Yeah,
he's old.
Christopher
Waltz.
Christopher Waltz. So yes, you can't do book one, but you could. But honestly, if they're gonna do that story,
he's a little fucking guy, dude.
it doesn't matter.
It
okay.
absolutely fucking
Gravity.
matters.
So this is the guy that I think would do a fantastic job, and I'm thinking about in like a specific point.
Christoph Waltz. That's what it is. I had to think about it for a minute.
Clive Owen. Said Children of Man. Clive Owen. He has that great
He would
square
make a
jaw.
fucking Ibram Gaunt.
Yeah, he's got that great square jaw. He has those like dark eyes
So
that
the
if you
thing
get in
is
the right camera will be like piercing through people.
I don't think Clive
carries
Owen
a lot of
tall guy.
gravitas with him.
Really? Do you think so? Because
I
I was
think
about to
he
say,
does.
I don't think Clive Owen has the same.
We haven't seen Clive Owen in a while.
Yeah, but we haven't seen Clive Owen
We
in a
haven't
while.
had he doesn't have
But
the
every
same
time-
command that like Christoph Waltz does. Like when Christoph Waltz is on the screen,
Yeah,
you're only paying attention.
That
to him.
guy would be great as some of the guys that Eisenhower has to go against. Some of the other Inquisitors.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. You just need a physical presence, and you need a guy because. And the beauty of the story too is he's got such a retinue. You could do a ton. There are so many different people.
What about the King of Sparta?
Gerald Butler.
Yeah, Gerard Butler.
Gerald Butler. No, he's too goofy.
He doesn't do goofy.
No,
all
I
the
agree. I
time.
agree. No, I agree. I love.
The problem is that a lot of his stuff that people started watching that was pre 300, but people didn't start watching it till post 300.
Mm-hmm.
Is he did do a lot of comedy stuff because he was working with a lot of those English directors, and so he did a lot of that kind of
I'm
stuff.
like, yeah, you gotta
But
work.
he can do.
Yeah, he can do hardcore.
The hardcore, very heavy, and he's got the physicality. He's a big enough dude.
But the other thing is like Gregor Eisenhorn
and we got to talk
is understated. Like a lot of the stuff that when you're reading the books, he's not a vocal person. He doesn't tell about a lot of doesn't have these big monologues and stuff like that. It's all about your physicalness.
Mangiello. Man, I can never say that motherfucker's name.
First of all, you're gonna need an English guy. You're gonna need.
Do you think it has to be an English dude?
Absolutely. I'm sorry. It's just we're conditioned in this country. If you're gonna do
the accent has authority.
Authority.
That's a good point.
It just does now. And there's some of the other guys. I've seen some stuff people throwing around for like some of the guys in his retinue. The black guy from
as the pilot.
Yeah, he's on The Walking Dead. He was on The Walking Dead.
The guy with the dreads?
No. He's
so glad we're prepared.
He's I know.
I didn't know we were going this direction. I don't know.
No, but he's one of the guys.
Jim, I can barely remember y'all's name, and you have the same
He's in
name.
one of the-
You got odd name.
He's
what else has he been in besides Walking?
He's
I don't watch Walking Dead.
He's one of the main guys, and he's in the other series too. He's British. Nobody knows he's British because he's got an American accent, but they all do. Luke Edwards.
Luke Edwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that why you picked Cavill strictly because he plays Warhammer and he's British?
He wants to be Eisenhorn too.
Yeah.
I thought he wanted to be a fucking Primarch.
He wants to be everybody.
But
he just wants to be anything.
His
from Warhammer.
his biggest thing, and that's where everybody
if-
kind of went fucking crazy, is because they're like, he wants to be Eisenhorn.
Yeah.
I prefer somebody who knows the lore and knows the character, because if this thing is to succeed, it has to be the subtleties of the show.
Yeah.
Is
because
this
there's
going to
so
be?
much.
Are they trying to make this a
They're
Warhammer
trying to
TV
make this
product?
Yeah,
not a Warhammer TV product. I heard that it was going to be network.
It's going to be a network. They're looking. So now they're with. No, this isn't going to be like a streaming. It could be streaming, but it could be Apple or one of the big guys.
Yeah,
they're already with talks with somebody out in LA, and they're trying to put this thing together as a real thing.
As like a real fucking thing, like a real thing. So they're saying that Warhammer is starting to come up a little.
Actually,
like
you know
it's
what?
doing
I could
better
actually
and better.
see AMC doing it.
Yeah,
you can do it. It's
FX.
you've got to go with somebody who's going to give it a chance to breathe.
Mhm.
Or Apple TV. You're actually, when you said it could be Apple or whatever, I could see Apple doing it.
Yeah.
Well, Apple tried to take on what? No, it wasn't Apple. Who tried to take on Foundation?
Apple.
It was Apple, right?
That was Apple.
It got renewed.
And Amazon has
I haven't tried
tried
to watch it yet.
Amazon has done 2 fantasies.
Amazon needs to not touch any more fucking IP. Amazon has fucked up enough of my favorite IP on the planet.
They're
They
already
need to just
going
stop
fucking
touching things.
stupid into the next season. Fucking what
Of
I
the Ring of-
affectionately
of the Ring
call
of-
elves. We just
the
call it
elves.
elves at the house. We just call it elves.
The else we're gonna go watch some.
There was
elves.
parts of that I really, really liked.
Sure.
And then there was other parts that was just like, what are you doing?
and then they completely fucked
When they
up Wheel of
revealed
Time.
Mordor by PowerPoint, that shit just bugged me.
What do you mean? I haven't watched it. yet.
So,
I haven't watched it, nor do I don't want.
you remember there's some nerd that's watching this.
Yeah. Dude, the nerds are the ones who are fucking losing their minds
Well,
because
it was so
they know if you're a
stupid.
Tolkien, you can go to Oxford and be a Tolkien scholar. They're losing
yeah.
their goddamn shit
So,
because they're like, none of this
Here's
is
the deal. Obviously, it's the birth of the rings, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Mordor comes into creation because it's the only way to make the rings.
Mhm.
Well, it's the only way to make the ring. The other rings weren't all
So
made at
the
Mordor.
kingdom of Mordor is like becomes
Gets made. So, which, if you've ever seen a Tolkienian map, it's the southern part of the continent.
Yeah.
That's
It's just-
Mordor, right?
yeah.
So pre-Mordor, it was just called, ready? The Southlands. Then it becomes Mordor.
Okay.
Well, so in the show, you see Mount Doom erupt, and it fucking obliterates everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And becomes Mordor. That's what clouds this. That's what chokes the sky with ash, so that the sun's gone and the orcs can be around and da 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 da.
Mhm.
Which, if you've read anything Tolkien, you kind of know this is the deal, right?
Right.
So, but they show it, and they literally have text come up on the screen that says the Southlands, and then it fades, and text comes up and says Mordor.
Does it do like a bounce around?
It's straight up like a fade into the other, and I was like,
build,
I was like,
build,
yeah,
build.
I was like, you just revealed Mordor via PowerPoint. This
funny.
is fucking awful.
That's hilarious.
We can't have that. So so they're out.
Yeah.
But you need somebody who's going to let this, who says,
Now,
all right, this is your vision. We need
It
to
does
let it go."
appear. So
Because there's a love interest too. You got a love interest.
There's plenty
and the
of women
reason
in
that
it.
I bring up
Yeah.
Something for
I'm like, there's- you
Foundation
can do
is
it,
that those books are crazy, right? And
it's so dense.
a lot of really well-known directors, including James Cameron, said that it was impossible to bring Foundation to screen.
Really?
You can't do it outside of a book. You just can't do it. It can't be done. That's why it hasn't been done.
Uh-huh.
And then this dude came along that apparently went and talked to James Cameron about that and shit too. And it was like, no, you can't do Foundation on the screen. There's just too much in the book. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't bring it out.
You can't have season
And,
1 be pages 1 through 50.
Right. So
Yeah.
you just can't do this. And with the best in the business saying like this isn't doable.
They said it. They said it about Dune.
Apple
Said
went.
it about
Fuck it. Here's a bunch of money. Go figure it out. Well, it wasn't just Cameron. Like Cameron said it, Spielberg said it, like a bunch of these
Okay.
guys
Yeah,
said it
yeah,
that
yeah.
were
They
just
said it
like
about a lot of stuff. But if
they were
give
just
it a
like you
TV
don't
show-
fuck with Foundation. Dune, I think everybody knew Dune could be done. I don't
Dune
think
can be done.
but the problem is that all these directors that get a hold of IP,
hmm
they want to leave their mark on it
Yeah.
instead of like
Yeah.
paying homage to something.
Sure.
Mhm.
And I don't think these people realize if you're going to make a live action of any IP, I don't give a fuck what it is. Any of it. If it's a beloved book,
Mhm.
if it's an IP that everybody already fucking knows, and you decide you're going to go do an animated or live action version of it, don't reinvent it. Take the material
Mhm.
and just shoot that. We don't want new. I don't want a new story. I don't want you to
A
reinvent it.
reimagining of
Yeah, no.
I don't want it. I
but-
just
but
want
the-
you to take the book and I just want you to make that. Like, just take the shiny pictures that were in my head
and make
and then put them on my TV. Like,
But the best part about Eisenhorn is that the books follow like major cases in his career.
yeah. So you can
So
fill
you
in a
can still fill in that.
There
kind
are
of
centuries
shit.
of stuff where he was just doing stuff.
but doing shit.
and that's
yeah,
probably
just
what
doing
makes
shit
it,
that
but
wasn't,
that's
like,
probably what makes it a
important enough
really,
for your
really
book.
good target.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring that up about you can't go fuck with the IP,
Right.
is that's going to determine on who you can go talk to about it.
Yeah.
Like, it would appear if Apple's just kind of like, you know what? If you think you got it, we got more money than we know what to do with. Like,
Yeah.
we could lose everything we're putting in you, and we made it back next morning.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and also Apple TV is losing the streaming wars. I think
it's just it's so goofy.
Yeah.
It's just
like Disney is top dog by far.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think I have 3 Apple TV subscriptions that I don't even pay for.
Yeah.
Because I've bought like Apple
Stuff,
products and they just give it to you.
Yeah.
I've never logged into it.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, like
some of the shows are like C is good.
Ted Lasso's great.
Yeah.
There were some other ones that I wanted to watch that came out on it.
But their big IP, like the IP that they own is DC right now.
Which I can watch on HBO.
Which which is not that big of a deal.
Because what Apple wants is they want that closed loop, right?
Yeah.
So they want you to get Apple TV.
Yeah.
Or almost hold on.
Gesundheit. Oh, you're one of those multi-sneezers, huh?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that about you.
Always sequels.
Two's not bad.
Yeah.
Two's not bad. I'm like, hey, you have those people that are just like, It's
my wife.
Yeah, here you go.
Damn it.
That's Cedar
just,
baby.
But what they want is they want you to get Apple TV and then link all of your subscriptions into your Apple TV.
Yeah, they want that. They want that information. Yeah, hit it again.
I hate everything.
Just get it one more time. Fuck yes.
Holy shit.
Would you like a tissue?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get one.
We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna just a good refill option.
Yeah. They just got to let it breathe. They don't need to overdo it with. You don't need to explain every friggin' thing.
Yeah.
But you can still have Space Marines like these guys exist.
Yeah.
Have a quick like what the hell that is.
It would be to do this thing really right. It would be a great exercise in show don't tell.
Yeah.
You know, because you have to show the universe that we're in and all of the fucked up things.
You don't need to go into every
You don't need to
friggin'
explain
thing.
it, but you can just walk around and be like, what the fuck kind of place is this?
And if you want to know, go get on
the books and go get into lore and everything.
Get into lore to get a little bit deeper into what they're talking about. But I think you can comprehend, hey, we have this empire. These guys kind of keep things in line and he's on a case.
Yeah.
This is the case.
Yeah, this is the case.
Oh, there's
Dick Wolf. Dunk, dunk.
Yeah, there's demons. Oh, they're demons. Oh, I see. Oh, hey, these guys are kind of a little friggin'
hunting down chaos cults.
Yeah,
Are you saying you want a
aliens.
Dragnet, a 40K show?
Gunk, gunk.
Like in our parties? Yeah, like they have
No,
that.
Dragnet.
Well,
You don't remember the show Dragnet?
Yeah.
I was thinking more of a Law
Just
and
the
Order.
facts,
Maybe you're
man.
thinking Law and Order?
I was thinking Law and
These
Order.
things
That's
more
the
Law
Law and Order.
Then we'd have to have like it'd have to only be SVU.
No Joe Friday. But
It'd have
But
to only be
I
SVU.
100% agree. Like there's a ton of stuff you can go into. You can do chaos worshippers. You can go into Xenos.
oh, there's cults. I get that. All right, these guys are bad, but you don't need to go like super like they mentioned so like the geeks will get they're they're a cult of Slash. Ooh, they mentioned Slash. You don't need to really super explain that.
Yeah,
you could just show them all banging each other and being weird.
Yeah,
and just be like, okay, this is
an
a
eyes
bad
wide
thing.
shut situation.
Yeah. This is weird.
Yeah.
In fact, you could show a lot of those kind of things and
you
be
don't
like,
even actually have to even go that far when you actually look at what the gods are about, right? So let's say it's Slaneshi cult.
Yeah.
It's just the god of excess.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could literally go into this thing that's just these humans that are just these bloated blobs just sitting around. That's
Just
like, what the
gluttonous.
fuck is
Yeah.
Well,
happening?
you can
here?
show all that, or you can show like the eyes wide shut, like, oh, this is supposed to be an above board government on this planet, and now they're doing these weird kind of like parties.
things,
And that's why he's there, or his guys go infiltrate, or hey, you can get into the psychic stuff as it goes, and then sort of as the season goes, you can kind of
dive into a little
like,
more.
This is the
Do you know
whole
where they have the
point.
potential to handle? Have you guys watched any of the stuff from American Horror Story?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Once in a while, yeah.
Well, but you don't have to know the story, but to understand that format, right? Where like you can deal with this kind of weirder, out there, occult kind of dark anthology, because AHS kind of has a through line where it's a little bit of a story,
Yeah.
but most of those episodes they're kind of X-Files.
Yeah.
Right? They're a little bit.
Mhm.
They don't have Monster of the Week, but which is part of the X-Files format. There was like the big story episode, and then you got the Monster of the Week episode, and da-da-da.
Yeah.
But you can kind of still run that thing, right? Where it's like the throughput is him.
Yeah.
And then
Very much so.
the weirdness that can happen, as long as you don't get campy, you could just let it be
you don't,
dark
and that's
and
the
grim
thing.
and all that kind of stuff.
It can't be campy.
Well, but that's why I bring up American Horror Story is
Yeah.
that it turns into you can get dark and twisted, and we know there's an audience because
Yeah.
American Horror Story is on season producing team. What are we at now?
7, 8,
Season
9.
10, 14, like
some outrageous
bajillion of them.
Yeah.
And he's got a retinue, so it allows you to have young and old, male and female,
and
you
also
have all those people.
Retinues change.
Yes.
Yeah, they're on
Season 11.
You want to kill somebody gets whacked, bring somebody else in the next
bring somebody
season.
in because you need.
Well,
them
and
in.
it's got
they
to.
get, they're
It's-
expendable.
it-
They're
If you're gonna
Inquisitor's
stick to-
retinue is fucking expendable.
And if you're gonna stick to 40K, you've got to have red shirts in every episode.
Yep.
Where it's like
Yep.
you through the door, and it's like, whoop, that guy's gonna die. It's
Yeah.
gotta happen.
yeah, it's
So-
great.
And maybe, I mean, if you get as far like Ravener, maybe you do a spinoff. Maybe the thing gets that popular that now you've got a guy or Beckwin or some of the other females. And these, maybe you go to a planet and fucking, I don't know what the timelines are, but maybe there's Gaunt and that's somebody else big.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
will drink
Yeah.
to? The fact that we can have a podcast episode about the fact that a major network might have a fucking Warhammer fucking
cheers to
delay.
that. Skål. Yeah, that's crazy.
So
but it's a great intellectual property. Yeah, it writes itself. You read one book and you're just like, I get it.
Wild though
I get it.
to look at a game company that has arguably now actually outgrown their game
Mhm.
in the lore.
Sure.
I mean, because then you have to look at the chapter because they've developed just as much lore for 40K as they have for 30K,
Mhm.
and then AOS is coming right behind it. Like
Yeah,
they're writing all of that stuff in. Like it's just
crazy.
such a massive universe at this point.
They're doing well. People are playing the video games.
yeah. The
Are
new Space
good.
Marine 2 looks
Yeah.
fucking
So
amazing.
I've actually been playing Dark Tide.
okay,
Which have you done like Left 4 Dead? Do you play video games at all?
not much. No.
Okay, so there's some other titles out there like Left 4 Dead and stuff like that,
Right.
which they're co-op first-person shooters. So Dark Tide is actually set. It's funny because it's an Inquisition-based thing,
Yeah.
and it's a
Played a
great
little bit of it.
story that's in it. So Dark Tide actually works where you get arrested and you're on a prison ship, and then that prison ship gets attacked,
Okay.
and you live via the attack, and it essentially turns into, okay, well, we've lost too many people, and there's a hive city down there. So we're going to take you and some of these other prisoners, and if you want to earn your way back into the good graces of the Imperium, we're going to send your ass down there, and you're going to accomplish some of these missions because everything down there is some sort of poxwalker or heretic like the whole hive city
Yeah.
is just fucked.
Yeah.
So you go down there and you bring us back these fuel cells. You get a little bit of loyalty back. You go down there and fucking schwack this dude that we know is the problem with it, whatever. So you go down with 3 other players, and like in it, I'm playing a priest, like a zealot,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I've gotten enough now to where I've earned my fucking chainsword and flamer, and I'm just
Just wrecking shop.
but it's first person shooter, and each mission takes you like 20-25 minutes.
Button mashing is so good.
And you're just you need a left and right mouse button to play this game. Like it's just, and you're just
They made it simple, and they've wanted to do. There's been other games, and there's also the strategy ones that are always pretty good. Like the
There's
Blood Angels one was
God.
great.
There's
Played all
so
those,
many strategy
and
ones.
they were
but
good, and they were well
Space
done.
Marine 2 does look really good.
Nice, really nice.
Dark Tide's awesome. I think Dark Tide is only on PC though. I think it's a Steam game only.
Yeah,
So I don't think you can play it on
$20,
console. I think you
$25
have to be on a PC. It's fantastic. I play it with some friends and we get on there and we're all 40K like fucking nerds.
Yeah,
So it's just one joke after. And the quotes on the break screens, like the load screens,
Yeah.
they're amazing. There's like your understanding, or no, what is it? What was my favorite one? Your duty does not require understanding. And I was like, this is the most army shit I have ever heard in my entire life.
You're just in right away. Right?
Yeah, I was like, yep, buy in. I understand. Uh-oh. Producing team has some facts for us.
Dark Tide can also be played on Xbox Series X, S, and Microsoft Windows.
Oh, look at that. So Microsoft products,
Yeah.
essentially. So
Sure,
it's
nice.
Xbox and Microsoft. So, but yeah, I've been having a blast with it. It's my kind of game,
What about
though.
a Nintendo Wii? Can I play it on the Wii?
On the Wii.
No, it's not a Wii.
I heard a fact the other day that made me feel really old.
Oh, I don't like these facts.
Yeah. So apparently now, because of the new Switch or whatever, but the current year, right? We are now as far from the release of the Wii as the Wii was far from the Nintendo.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Right? I was like, ooh, that hurt. Oh, shit. Yeah, so the gap, I think it's the gap between the Super Nintendo and the Wii is the same gap between the Wii and the current Nintendo. And I was like, Oh, I'm not old enough for that.
Yeah, no, I just
That's not
don't
right.
Straight to that. It's just.
I feel old enough for that though.
Yeah.
There's certain mornings, dude, that I like wake up and I'm like, why is my body making more noise than my alarm clock?
Yeah,
Like
right.
this shouldn't be how this fucking works.
So with the kids today, I was watching the movie Up today because I was watching the kids all day. So we watched Up, and like there's a part where like the old man like gets out of the bed and he like starts cracking every part of his body. I'm just like, I get you, bro. I got it.
First time I ever watched Up was on my first major separation from my wife with the military, and I was like, and we watched Up,
don't do
and
that.
I was like, the fuck's wrong with you people?
Yeah,
like,
that's sad. That's
so they had like everybody in a room and this movie's playing and it was just, and everybody's like, we were in Garrison casual, right? So it was like t-shirt, pants, boots, and we're all just chilling, right? Just all these stone cold killers sitting in a room and Up plays and we're all just like, you good, man? No, I'm fucking good, dude. I'm good.
I'm good.
Don't even worry about it. I was like,
God, there's something in the air. Who's cutting the pepper?
Fuck.
Who's cutting the pepper? I want some of that pepper.
So bad.
I want that onion.
Oh my god, you guys and your fucking Up bullshit. No.
The movie was brutal. So
The movie's brutal, man. But yeah, no, I think Eisenhorn, if they're ever gonna make, there's two IPs that I think that if they make into like a real TV show, Gaunt's Ghost, Eisenhorn.
Gaunt's Ghost would be the easiest.
Band of Brothers. They take Band of Brothers in space. Go.
And you're getting
hear
the
me out,
World War
though.
I, World War II thing. But
hear me out though.
I would prefer
it's Gaunt's
Eisenhorn.
Ghosts, but it's actually the A team in space.
Okay, I'm in. Yeah, still in. I'm still
No, man,
in.
because the Gaunt's Ghost like that's my favorite by far of all the science fiction things in the Warhammer universe by far. And do not fuck that up.
Yeah,
because I have a picture in my mind of those guys.
That's why I said A team in space.
Do not fuck that up.
They need a black van with wings, and it just
goes around.
It just
I
goes
want
around.
dudes in their fucking camo
Yeah.
smocks and fucking blades
Yeah.
and smoking.
You
dudes
don't
for
know how to
fucking
get
2
a hold
miles.
of them. You don't
By
know
the
where
way-
they are, but when you need them,
Yeah.
they'll be there.
By the way,
Like,
if you ever get into audiobooks, don't listen to the Gaunt Ghost ones.
Oh, really? Because they just don't have the right.
do you know what's
because they are hardcore Scottish accents. You're
Oh,
like, who are these people?
And
These are the
that's
people that
kind-
are supposed to be in my head.
But that's
correct. What they're
but
supposed
that's
to
what's
be.
back. That's
Yeah.
correct.
do you know
What
what's
they're supposed
actually
to be.
brutal about the Gaunt's Ghost? So they actually a couple years ago they released a model kit for the Gaunt's Ghost. It was an
Yeah.
updated model kit,
Yeah.
and they're dope as shit.
Yeah.
I've got 9 guys.
The models are dope.
Yeah, they're
fantastic.
badass.
Beautiful.
And then you bring them to the table, and they absolutely get their shit pushed.
Of course,
in
'cause that's not what they
every
do.
single
Dude,
They-
time.
they're
so
special operations.
bad.
They're that whole battalion, or it's a regiment, a mixed regiment.
Now, in
but
all
they're
fairness,
all scouts.
I
Yeah.
haven't read anything about them on the
They're super
new
lighted.
rule book as of this recording.
You can't.
As of this recording,
you can't.
the,
Yeah.
the
Not the way the
Imperial
game's
Guard
played.
got a new book as of
Yeah.
this recording, like 3 weeks ago.
I don't know
So,
how
like,
you would-
as of this recording, the rules, but I haven't read that rule book
Yeah,
yet, so I don't know if they improved them.
Dude,
But they're
no.
the rules for them prior to this.
Yeah, they were not good.
It was like everybody built them. Everybody was like, "Look at these guys! I'm gonna put them in this building. They're doing all this cool stuff." And it was like, "Cool.
Yeah.
This dude's gonna
my-
walk
my
over there
single-
and schwack everybody."
My single
It was
fucking
like-
space marine who's not even good at his job. He kind of sucks and he's
Right.
not feeling. Oh, he lost an arm. Yeah, he's gonna smoke all of you
Straight up.
because he's just a fucking. That's not what they do.
Yeah.
First time I played them, I was playing my
Yeah, you
orcs,
also
and my
have one wound.
orcs walked over there and just derped into this building and annihilated every single
they've
one
never
of the
even. I don't
Gaunt's
think they've ever
ghosts.
even fought a fucking orc. In
No.
any, they've
No,
fought
no, no,
space,
no.
They've
They-
had Space Marine support, and I think they've encountered Space Marines.
And,
Chaos Space Marines
and the
didn't-
Space Marines, when they encounter them, is more of like a, oh, fuck, run away, run
yeah,
away,
yeah,
run
like
away.
we're not like we're gonna
we
call in
can't-
an airstrike because this
Yeah.
is we can't deal with them.
Well, and that's the weird thing about, honestly, the difference between the lore and the gameplay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because in the lore, honestly, if you play Space Marines, you shouldn't lose.
Yeah,
Like, you just shouldn't lose the game. Like, if you're playing the Space Marines, you just always win.
one
Yeah,
guy's
like-
worth 50 fucking Astra Militarum guys. They just went infantry,
right.
They
And now there's
just
certain
are.
lists that I could see it, right? Like, if you're playing bugs,
That's a different story.
you're playing bugs, whatever, but even the rules don't really keep up with that because it should feel like you're never out of models.
Mhm.
Like, it should just be, it's like, I took out all of your, oh God, there's more. Like, that's how it should
It
work,
should-
right?
Yeah, just numbers.
Well, in the lore or in any of the books, they're always evacuating or playing for time. It's never like we're gonna beat
Dude,
these
straight up,
fucking guys.
even with like in the
Yeah.
Beast Arises story in the
Yeah.
very beginning
Yeah.
when they're talking, when the Imperial Fists just get utterly destroyed and stuff when that moon comes in and destroys. But they're fighting bugs. At the time, they're fighting. They call them chromes or whatever the fuck it was because they didn't know what the Tyranids were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when that one dude fucking takes a Tyranid leg and is using it as a sword. And I'm like, that would be a badass
That's
model.
a great move. Yeah.
Like, dude's just walking around with a Tyranid leg as his saber. I was like, this is dope. But
I'm in. I love it.
that planet, they literally, I think like 6 of them, 6 Marines make it off the planet and they're like, burn that motherfucker to the ground.
Yeah, because they don't, they don't, it's never like, oh, we had a victory. No, it's like, we got out with the dude we were trying to get out and everybody else is dead and half our fucking squad, company, chapter, whatever the fuck is all dead. And thank God for that, bookends. Like, it's never a good, like, and they play it right.
But it's the same thing. Nids kind of play the way their lore keeps up, but orcs are still the weakest thing in fucking 40K as far as play is concerned. There was like a 2-week window where orcs were great. When the new book came out and orcs were just utterly brutal and they were clearing the board in like round 1. It was like orcs win. It's over.
Really?
Didn't matter where they were playing. And then Warhammer came down and was like, oh, hold on.
Whoa.
And just like nerfed the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And now they suck again. And, but there's a huge break between lore and gameplay. Because to be honest with you, orc players should be scary. Like, if an orc player shows up to the table, it should just be like, I can't win this.
Well,
I have to hold out for the round.
You got a ton of shit. Yeah. You got a ton because they fight with a ton of dudes. Their equipment shouldn't work, and it does. I mean, it's indestructible, and you can slap it
and
back together.
They don't run away.
And
they don't quit. But they just.
But and all that's in there. Like, you have to deal with it. And the problem is that it shouldn't work, but it does. But in the game, you can't hit shit. Like, they're like shooting wise, you're useless. You can't hit. You have to hope you get close enough. And then everything's like one wound. It all goes away. You're still checking all these leadership checks. It's like, it's bullshit.
And it's,
but,
I mean, you know, but those are the things you don't have
but the
to
thing
bring
is that
into
Space Marines sell models.
Yes.
And so that's why they're always get the most shit.
And I tell you what, people,
models.
if you get out in the 4th episode, there's going to be maybe, what's Dan Abnett's the snake fucking guys.
Not Iron Snakes. Is it Iron Snakes?
It's Iron Snakes. There's going to be an Iron Snake Marine.
From Ithaca. Yeah.
How, you know how they need to handle that, though?
A first founding somebody.
Yeah.
Is that it needs to be, it is a Space Marine, don't do the armor. Where the Space Marine comes out, do the implants, do the service studs, where you have everything, but they're in the, what do they call it? The surplus? That thing that they wear when they're not in armor.
Different guys have different things that they wear.
But they have these surpluses and shit that they wear. It's just like this kind of, it's this weird like toga thing that they like walk around in.
Deathwatch guys run around in fucking camis and stuff and do missions without their armor.
So
you could have them like that.
You could.
Yeah. I'm like, especially with.
But you could have the armor hanging there.
But if he's going to go have a conversation, right. Have his bolter on the holder and like, because they worship their armor. Yeah. Like there's that whole, there's like a whole retinue that comes out and armors them and all of them are relics and da-da-da-da-da. But if you're going to do it, if you put them in armor, it's going to be cheesy. If you do a live action and you put them in armor, it's going to be cheesy.
Well, you'll never do it justice. It's either going to be cheesy because it's too big and it'll look ridiculous.
The fact of the matter is that a Space Marine's design is stupid.
Yeah.
In the real world, Space Marine armor looks dumb. It works in animation. It works as a model.
Right.
In the real world, it looks stupid. Nobody would design shoulder pads that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody would. And the joints aren't in the right place. Like none of it would function.
Even like the authors like trying to explain the shoulder.
We're getting feed.
Yeah, we're getting.
Are back?
Can you hear us? All right.
We're back on Warhammer.
2, 1. Yeah. So they talk about the whole like the shoulder pads and
being
how
able to go up.
They go up and down and
they protect the side of the head. They do that kind of
stuff.
stuff.
And it's supposed to be if you're in a melee, they're supposed to raise up so it protects because you're in order to move your neck, you can't have a stick like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The problem is that's all great on paper.
Yeah.
If you were gonna make that in real life, It just looks dumb. Don't believe me? Go search the internet for anybody that's done Space Marine cosplay and done it right, and where they're on the stilt, so they're the right height and all that kind of shit. It looks dumb. It just looks dumb.
It needs to be done. Like if you're gonna, like, I have a vision of this. Like if you do it right, it's, you know, you have the Space Marine, like all of a sudden just kind of, it needs to be like a situation where it's like there's a single guy.
Yeah.
Just dropping down, like all of a sudden from like a helicopter, just dropping down, no parachute, no nothing, little bit of a boom. And then all of a sudden just like things just start breaking around him. You know, like he's moving faster than you can barely
like
track.
the Halo armor.
Or put him far enough off to where you go and you recognize the silhouette, and that's definitely a Space Marine.
Yeah.
And you see that squad move, and they move in just such an inhuman way that you're like, holy shit. And then that's it. That's all you get. And it was just enough to make it wiggle. And then
maybe you talk to the guy out of his armor later on if that's a thing.
Or it's just or it's a mic thing where it's just like people are just sitting there like, what the fuck just hit us? And all of a sudden you're like, then all of a sudden you hear like in this insanely low voice, like objective cleared. Yeah. And then there's like, that's all you hear. And
you see him in the background.
What the fuck just happened?
And then when they're back on the ship and he needs to get information from that Astartes or needs to talk to him or whatever, take the Astartes out of the armor and let his bolter and his chainsword be on the holder in his chamber and the whole nine yards.
That's also in the book too. In the Xenos book is when he's dealing with one of when he's working with the Death Watch. He's working with them a lot of time. Like they're pre-gaming and that kind of stuff. They're out of their armor. You're trying to be cordial.
Or talk to them in the training cages.
Yeah.
When they're not in the armor and they're down there in just like their like workout gear. And they're in the cages and all that kind of stuff. Because you could shoot that right, where you could bring in dudes that were physically intimidating.
Right.
But you could shoot the angles right to where they're bigger than him. They seem
more imposing.
They're more than human.
And they're less human too.
But
that's important too.
Yeah.
And because they don't train with their chain swords. They train with practice weapons. They chain with all that stuff. So the stuff that is like the Spinal Tap level of ridiculous
is taken away.
Gets taken away so that we still go like, holy shit, that's a big motherfucker.
Yeah, there is. I remember
but it doesn't get lessened because it's campy. But that shit was invented in the 80s. Yeah. So like it's campy by today's standards.
But I remember like I was watching when they were first talking about Warhammer TV. You know, hey, it's coming out and they're sending out a lot of the promo videos kind of stuff. There was one that it was, I think there is sometime coming up, there's going to be a Black Templar one.
Yeah.
And there was, do you remember this? Where there was like a Black Templar chaplain. He was strolling and it's like very dark and it's and you see him like strolling out of the back of a Thunderhawk. And it all of a sudden like he like turns his head and he looks at like the camera and it's like literally like you're like, holy shit, I'm a little afraid. Like as a viewer, you have this like little tightening of your chest a little bit. And like if you can recreate that emotion for them, because that's what these Space Marines are. They are just, you look at them and they're like, that's not right. And something's wrong here.
Make it so that they cannot take over the show. So you only get one every few episodes, or maybe once in a season, where you get to do either you're doing combat or having a conversation, because that's not what the show is about. You can show the demons because that shit's what it's about. You can show the planets and all the stuff and all the warfare and stuff. You can show all those things
and how shitty Hive Life is.
I want to see everything else from the little shit to the big shit, right? Like I want to see servitors. I want to see a little skull just floating around doing his thing.
The cherubs, no, we're not.
I want to see that. You can leave the cherubs out.
No, leave the cherubs out.
But I want to see servitors just walk around where it comes up to Eisenhorn and it just goes like,
he's like, you can see the fucking,
and I would love nothing more. Yeah, I would love nothing more than a servitor to flow up and it kind of beeps or whatever, and he just goes like, black 2 sugars, and then it fucking floats off, and then it just comes back and gives him his calf, and I'd be like, that was dope. That's all I needed. That was amazing.
Yeah. Like, and also like the scribes with their like bolted on like monocles and like tubes.
I want to see the Vox operators where it's permanently installed to their face, and that's all they can do. And I want the big space shots of him on the ship that is so large it's throwing shadows onto the fucking planet. Yeah. I want that shot. And the thing is where we are tech wise, you can give me that.
Yeah, easy,
absolutely.
But if you show me a Space Marine, you are going to take me out of that show
so quick,
so fast.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do it. It's not going to work.
You can't show the Space Marine itself. You have to show the idea of a Space Marine.
And the beauty of this thing is he encounters only a couple of guys at any one time. And they're not even a squad of guys. He just doesn't. He kills a couple of fucking dudes by himself, and you can show that, like how much of a badass he is.
But see, what you need to
don't
do
have
is
do a lot of
you
that.
need to do it. Never show him fighting the Astartes, right? But the reputation of the fact that he's taken on Astartes and won is already there.
Sure.
So when he sits down to talk to a Space Marine, you can be physically bigger than him, but you can sense that mutual respect across the way where it's like
where it's like do not take
I
this man
can't
lightly.
intimidate you because you've already killed my kind. So it's
well,
like
in the case of the Death Watch, if you have a thing where he comes back and he talks to those guys, they can already be like, "Hey, we remember blah blah blah," and they reminisce about some battle or something that they already had because he carries at one point carries a Death Watch bolter that was a little smaller.
Well, and at the same time, especially hanging out with the Death Watch, because within Eisenhorn's timeline, the EC, the Empress, the two that he killed, those are heretics.
Right.
Like he took on 2 Chaos Space Marines and schwacked them.
He's racked up quite a fucking.
The standard Space Marines are going to be like, he may be mortal, but
fuck.
Not only
fucks.
Some of them have never encountered Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah. That's the other thing too. They're just as rare.
Speaking of wild fucking media, though.
Whoa, are we going to talk about the next
word?
Are we going to do are we planning a movie night?
we should. We should absolutely.
I guess we just segued.
Yeah.
There's a movie coming that has an actual that we know is in production. The trailer is out. It's absolutely coming. Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
The movie, which is based on a true story.
Which is based, it's not, we don't know if it's a true, we know that like the whole thing is that there's like this meme online that's basically was like, there was like a couple kilos of cocaine fell out of a plane over Alaska, I think it was.
So
and we
do know there was a bear.
There was a bear that ate cocaine and died from it.
Right.
And then the joke is for about 20 minutes, this was the apex predator of the world is what the joke is. And like for about 20 to 45 minutes.
In the movie, it's the bears running around for quite some time, wreaking absolute fucking havoc.
Yeah.
High as a motherfucker.
Just Trump Jr.ing the shit out of everything.
Smelling colors. Like that thing is just on another.
And getting everybody high apparently because like a bunch of, they show them like
the
aftermath and there's like coke fucking everywhere. It's like,
but the other thing that I want to talk about this is one of the stars of this, Ray Liotta. Is this Ray Liotta's last movie?
It had to have been.
It had to have been.
This isn't the one that he died on, so I don't know if that
no, but
that is
it's
got to be the last full production.
Well, because
one,
the
maybe?
sheer amount of time it would take to make that much CG.
Yeah.
To make a believable bear high on cocaine.
Yeah.
Just thinking everything you say.
I mean, like it's got to be right. It's got to be his last.
It's got to be his last. Like, and I you know what? The part I'm going to look forward to the most.
Henry Hill, and he's like
is it the part that I'm going to look forward to my entire life for this is like
Henry,
when
like a bear, Henry.
When like the movie's done and the cocaine bear is finally dead from cocaine from an OD and he's killed everything. There's going to be a script at the back says in loving memory of Ray Liotta.
Well,
and I'm just going to be like, bah, because that's just like, that's how that's how.
You know why I killed the bear?
Is.
I did it out of respect.
I did out of respect out of the Ray Liotta. Like, I just think that's going to be great. But it has good actors in it too. Like,
yeah, I mean, and they play it. They don't play it.
They don't play it straight. It's going to be fucking
funny,
hilarious.
Because there's people being fucking murdered by this fucking high as a kite fucking bear. And they show them getting like pulled into the woods and
I'm like
bushes and shit.
Watch the trailer. Do yourself a favor. Pause. Watch the trailer. Then come back. And there's like a part where like the bear does a line off of somebody's amputated leg, like dismembered leg, and he just like does a line
so
on
ridiculous.
It. Like this is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and I'm 100% into movies and media that does not take itself too fucking seriously. And I think that really is just Cocaine Bear in a nutshell.
See, and you're probably wondering like, well, you can handle Cocaine Bear because it's ridiculous, but D&D you've got a problem with? Yeah, I got a fucking huge problem with it. Yeah, because that's D&D, and that's that, and then there's a fucking bear high on fucking coke. Yeah.
Which is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard.
But it happened. It didn't happen like this. But Jesus Christ, like
it's
that's
a reimagining.
That. And I will, but it's a wide open canvas,
right? Like if I know what I'm going into,
yes,
like I know what Cocaine Bear is supposed to be.
It's called Cocaine Bear. I got it.
Yeah,
it's a bear on cocaine.
But if you're going to make a D&D movie, especially at this point now where D&D is actually like
Part of nerd culture. Yeah.
Yes, and it's breaking out of just nerd culture. I mean, thanks to things like Stranger Things and these celebrities and stuff coming forward or whatever. And it's like
coming forward.
Yeah, they finally have.
I love it.
Coming out of the dark.
They're coming out of the dark.
D&D and everything have been done. You've seen it in Game of Thrones. You've seen it in, you know, I mean,
we are now living in the age of hashtag D&D 2.
D&D 2. Me too. D&D 2. I did that.
Yeah.
That's
so
good. I get like that.
Like that's where we're at now. So and it's like, so you're gonna make the movie into a joke again?
Yeah.
It like
no.
I hate to tell you this, they already did a comedy version.
And it didn't do well.
Didn't help.
Didn't do.
People are going to be watching this podcast and be like, just watch till the end, and they'll just go back to the D&D movie and how fucking awful it is. No, it's
prove me wrong.
Yeah,
prove me. If they prove me wrong when it comes out, you will see a shift in this fucking podcast, and I won't fucking talk about it. But right now, like, I'll be like, fuck, I was wrong. All right. Whatever, but
it's fucking hilarious.
I'm not going to
bring it up. If it is good, I'm going to keep on bringing it up in every.
I'm not going to be. So I will bring something up though until we fucking bully him into doing it. When are you going to start playing a war game?
Which one?
At this point, pick one.
Yeah.
Dude, I got enough problem. We're playing D&D. That's what you get out of me. I'll do the military stuff.
Like bolt action.
Bolt action. Yeah,
I can do that.
Yeah.
I have a big conversation with them. We're about to hold it looks like we're bringing the Texas championship into this.
I'm going to watch.
And then the national championship after that. So
really?
Yeah.
But I'm going to
get doing things here at BattlePub.
Game store in Texas.
That's true.
But I'm going to get pissed if some fucking 16-year-old with this bullshit outmaneuvers my fucking tanks when I've actually done it for fucking real. Be like, that's
I wouldn't recommend bringing tanks to that game.
No. Or whatever the fuck.
Well, it's a squad-based game, maybe platoon. Like that's really where you're operating.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch and then I'll see. Otherwise, I'm just gonna roll my fucking dice.
That doesn't seem.
I like how he's such a Warhammer fan. I can't get him to play anything Warhammer.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work, man.
It is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's rewarding work.
I got into Necromunda because I need like 8 dudes.
Really?
No, fuck, it's so good.
Is it?
It's also just a great fucking game. Like, it's a great game. So you run your little gang. There's no super soldiers. There's no whatever. It's just you and your 8 dudes. You're making fucking weapons work. The tables are beautiful because they're just stacked with terrain.
Nice.
So you get your 8 dudes, and it's all narrative based.
Okay.
So, like, you run campaigns.
Okay.
So, like, you don't play, like, a game of Necromunda. You play, multiple games. A chapter in a campaign. And it's parts where, like, you have to play and you have to go to the black market and just hope you don't end up in a gang fight while you're trying to, like, fucking get new supplies and shit.
Like the Jets and the Sharks coming at each other.
Yeah,
snapping.
It's fucking awesome. Yeah. It's all my people. They just...
It's funny, those are
the
only books I didn't read that I never...
Was the Necromunda stuff?
I just couldn't get into it.
Well, there's no super soldiers.
Yeah. I don't even care about the super soldiers because I read Gaunt's Ghost. I think that's the best thing going.
Yeah, it's just... Because all the Hive City stuff...
Yeah.
All the Necromunda stuff, these are just people just trying to make it.
In a shitty fucking...
You know,
shitty people who make it in a shitty world.
In a planet covered with 1 trillion people and there's nothing but city.
Yeah.
So
that place sounds obsolete.
The game, though, is fantastic. I'm not going to lie. I know nothing about the lore.
Yeah.
The game, though, it's a fantastic rule set. It plays super well. If you've played D&D, it's super familiar because you get 2 actions a turn per little dude.
Yeah.
So when it's my go, I pick a dude. He gets 2 actions. At the end of those actions, it goes back to being your turn. You pick a dude. You get 2 actions. Move on.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's anything you want to do with your dude, there's probably a rule for it.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
So, it's all mission based. It's great.
I also love that how we're we're big 40K fans. Love the lore. Love everything else. Like if somebody's really big in like Tolkien, they're like, I want to go live in the Shire. Anybody who's like a 40K fan is like, I do not want to fucking.
Nobody wants to live in that universe.
Near that universe. Nope. If all of a sudden I wake up tomorrow and I'm in the 40K Hive universe and I'm in a Hive city, I'll just be I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah. The biggest thing is I'm going to make an attempt to get on a ship and find a desolate planet where nobody's going to fuck with me, and hopefully I'll get.
You're going to die between your bed and the
ship.
You're not going to make it
because you don't have water. You barely have air.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm definitely getting off the fucking Hive planet.
You're not going to. You're not going to.
You're not going to.
I play a game that proves you're not going to make it. Literally, the last Necromunda game I played, both gangs were in a city.
We have a question.
Oh.
Okay, sorry.
I was celebrating.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so the last Necromunda, I played her in Necromunda, my last game.
Oh, did she win?
And yeah.
Nice.
So But the literally the mission we were playing is that we were both in the same city to get stuff, and a gang war breaks out because the two gangs find out that we're both there. Well, there's denizens of that city just around.
Yeah.
Just around.
Just doing life.
And because we're shooting at each other, they decide they're either going to shoot back until we found out that there was kill points for just taking out civilians. So like if one of her people wasn't close enough, I was just like, sucks to be you. It was, I mean,
it's the worst. It's the worst.
Like
it's the worst.
So he's like,
ever.
I'd just get off the Hive City. No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
No, getting murdered just hitting down.
It was like, I'm just trying to leave. Oh shit.
Yeah, where are you gonna go? Like there's so much bureaucracy to even like get
That's
close
the problem,
to the fucking port. To even get even within sight of it, you have to go through.
I'm pretty sure you have to
checkpoints.
fill shit out in triplicate to leave your house.
Yeah.
Like, so
it's just this
I say
the
house.
worst place.
The pod you're allowed
the
to
hab
sleep
pod,
in.
the fucking
the hab unit.
Yeah,
That's
the
you.
hab unit that they fucking.
But no, the game is great
Yeah.
if you've never done it. We play on Sundays if you want to come
Yeah,
try it out. He's like, nah, I'm good.
See,
I'm all set. Anyways,
only do so much.
So
Second Pitch Beer Company, go find them wherever the fuck you
we're
like
gonna
your social
be-
medias because
so one of the
they're
things,
everywhere.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up was that since we were going to be releasing these in January, right?
Probably. I'm thinking about actually pushing them out next week.
Okay,
So
great.
we're gonna see how this goes.
Okay, well, anyway, but in January you're going to find them at any of your local San Antonio HEBs.
So as of January 23,
They're going to start on January 6th. And
right?
then
But January 2023.
January 2023. Yes, correct.
Right. You'll be in all the San Antonio area
HEBs, the hometown lager, our award-winning hometown lager, will be at most San Antonio HEBs.
And if somehow you're a crazy early adopter of this show, Port Maw is a massive event we're having here at BattlePub, which is more of a beer festival with a gaming problem than it is really a game issue,
which is what gaming is anyways. Yeah.
Right. That's on January 21st here at BattlePub Games.
We'll be signing
and
autographs because those are just gonna fucking next year. We're not even gonna talk to any of you people.
No,
we're gonna
get them in.
So important.
Get them in. It won't even matter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. We're gonna have a velvet rope.
But that's January 21st, and Second Pitch
And
is going to be hanging out and
Yes, we
drinking
are.
beer and playing games.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna be a
got
good
told
time.
that the other day, so that was good. I'm excited.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
What's funny is that I got told that you were going to be there because we'll have that conversation. But
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Did Kay tell you?
K informed me you were definitely going to be there.
Oh, I did not. Kay's not informed me that I was going to be there.
Yeah, just so you know.
Cool. Good. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I'm glad this is how my schedule works. I get told three different people have to come to me to make sure that I'm on my schedule.
Which is
Yeah.
hilarious. I don't know. Anyways, we could end up talking business, making jokes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, anyways, thank you for listening to fucking Warhammered.
Thank you.
All we're ever going to tell you to do around here is fucking drink and roll dice because
roll dice.
there's far worse things to do.
Yeah.
So, Jim, any
Cheers.
words of wisdom?
I don't at this point.
Read Gaunt's Ghost and read Eisenhorn.
Yeah, go fucking read lore. And if you're starting to listen to this,
Yeah.
we've got Facebook and Grams and
Yeah.
comments on this and shit. If there's a topic that you would like to listen to us idiots cover for you,
Yeah, I'd love to.
Actually butcher.
In
Let us
extremely
know.
low detail.
and I promise you,
Extremely low.
I can
Wave top,
I can
spray top
confirm
level.
that we will spend a solid 15 minutes on Wikipedia trying to learn whatever the fuck it is about your
Yeah.
topic.
We are willing to rabbit hole any fucking topic you've got.
Oh my god.
As long as Harry Cavill is naked somewhere in that
Yeah.
rabbit
Oh,
hole.
God.
yeah.
You know, I rabbit holed sumo wrestling the other day for like 6 hours.
I just want to rabbit hole Henry Cavill.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
He's a
That's kind of like a furry.
beautiful
Hey, we don't
man.
kink shame. So
We don't
Thank
kink
you.
shame.
Yeah, we don't kink shame.
We
I'm a
don't
space
kink
wolf.
shame.
Thank you.
No. But I will rabbit hole Henry Cavill on this show.
We're trying to get Henry Cavill on this show.
That's
And
my
maybe
offer.
yeah.
I don't know if that's what he wants.
Well, he's unemployed right now. So
Is an actor ever
I think
really
he could be
unemployed?
unemployed forever at this point.
Yeah.
And probably be just fine.
He's just okay. He's an okay guy.
Which means he could come do the show.
how
Yeah.
fucked up is that though? And I
I'll
know we're
give you-
trying to
I
wrap
will-
things
I will
up, but
buy you a
yeah,
passcode.
hey, I'm back as being Superman. No, we're dumping you as Superman.
Yeah.
Hey, I
I'm
just
gonna
quit my fucking show.
I'm gonna pass on the show that is making me all the money.
But yeah.
Come
Yeah.
back and be Superman. Because I said I would carry the torch, that I would stay Superman. So I'm going to quit the show.
Yeah, well,
Come
you're
be
too
Superman
old.
for you.
Wait, what?
And
And
they're
they were
like,
like,
no.
oh, you've aged out.
What? All right, go
Fuck
find
you.
some fucking
Whatever.
Yeah.
snowflake. And,
Hey, 40K loves you, man. You come
If
back to mama.
Netflix has any brain cells, they're going to be like, you want to sign this?
You know what I'm saying?
And they're just going to bring that motherfucker back in.
well, they said today though, he is definitely out of Witcher.
Fuck.
So.
That sucks. He was so good at it. And
He
he
was
loved the content.
Yeah.
That's why he was so good
I
at it.
know.
Because he gives a shit.
But it's why he'd be good at Warhammer.
Yeah.
Because he also loves the content.
There's
Most
another
things in
character
life-
he may be interested in playing.
Which
even though
one's
he
that?
might be too old for that now too.
Which one?
Bond.
Bond?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
He was up for Bond when what's his face became Bond.
I'm actually excited
He was
about the new
runner-up.
Bond.
Who's the new Bond?
Well, they haven't said it yet.
Yeah, they did. They said Idris Elba was supposed to be Bond.
No, he's not. That's not a thing. No.
Oh, I was
Idris
excited
Elba
about that.
thinks he's too old. He'd be a great Bond.
Idris Elba would be a
He's too old.
fantastic
He's
Bond.
too old. They want it. They're talking right now about going
They need
with
the low
a
30s
much,
thing.
much younger Bond, and you gotta commit to like take. So you gotta get a guy who's almost gonna explode, but he's
You
not
need
ready to
10
explode
years. Yeah.
to do 10 years. And I don't know why you can't do other shit, but apparently whatever. So
I don't know. Craig was still a fucking amazing Bond.
yeah, he was the runner up to Craig.
To Craig?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Craig has been a fantastic Bond.
He's been a great Bond, but it's
He's been a
time.
great Bond. Yeah.
It's time.
It's about
Oh.
to move on.
We can get into this. Timothy Dalton's my favorite Bond.
Get
He's
off
a
my show.
Fucking rage.
Get the
prick.
fuck
I fucking loved
outta
him.
here.
He was so
Fucker.
mean. He just
You-
killed everybody. It was great.
Charlatan, you hussy,
Oh.
you harlot.
Craig's a bitch.
That's wow.
Connery, and then fucking Timothy.
Oh yeah,
Dalton.
Connery, yeah, but
Yeah.
Timothy Dalton.
Because his Bond was a mean prick. I loved him.
Those movies were awful.
No, they were fucking great.
They were. Jim, say goodbye to the people.
He
Bye,
fucking,
people.
Fucking fell
Holy
Benicio del Toro into like a
fuck,
meat
hit
chopper.
the
people.
fade to black button. We're
Yeah,
done
we're
with
done.
this. This
God
is fucking
damn it.
awful.
Talk about it.
Jesus, what a letdown.
And not only that, Spaceballs were right.